So you want to draw your own comic, right? Now I could just tell you to start drawing your comic right now and that would be the end of the video. But what if I told you there's levels to this? What if I told you some things that could help you start out? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. I'm Fuzzy Bridges and we're going to dive into the basics of starting your own comic. Now mind you, before you take on any comic making project, I recommend to at least have a little bit of drawing skills under your belt. Now I'm not saying you gotta be a pro at drawing, but at the very least having a basic understanding of anatomy and backgrounds helps a lot. But don't worry if you don't feel too confident in your drawing skills, because they definitely will improve throughout your journey. I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna go into this knowing everything about drawing and making comics. I know I didn't, and that's cool. You're gonna be learning this stuff as you go. First step you gotta take is deciding what kind of comic you want to draw. What I mean by this is if your comic is going to be cartoon strips, a traditional comic, graphic novel, manga, or webtoon. Take the time to explore these mediums, do some extended research, and see what interests you the most. You can even start small by making comic strips just to get more comfortable, then moving up to manga or webtoons. There's a lot of flexibility to work with, so take advantage. Where's your story going to take place? What's the time period? What's the world like? Focus on a setting your story will occur in. Think about what kind of world you want your comic to be. I'm going to keep it a stack with you guys. When I started my comic, Chronicles Omega EX, I did not have any settings figured out at all. I think I had like maybe one city with a name on it, but that was about it, and it straight up made my progress and journey more difficult than it ever had any business being. I don't think I had a setting established until I was about working on my 24th chapter of my comic and things finally started to click for me. I'm telling you right now, do not do this. Make sure you have a world established so that you can properly build on it as your comic progresses. I suggest doing some research on fictional worlds and also real life settings to see what you can come up with. Who will be taking center stage in your story? Who will be alongside the main character? Or will your story have only one character? That's the next step you'll be thinking about. Think what kind of character you want to make. What are his or her personality traits? What are his or her values and goals? Whether your comic has one character or 7 characters, try your best to make them feel like real people with their own ideals and struggles. Try to make some mini facts about them, like hobbies, age, or favorite food. Do some research on your favorite fictional characters and try to take bits and pieces you like from them and add them to your own character while throwing in your own spices in there. Cause let's be real, nothing is ever 100% original. When you're making your characters, I highly suggest keeping their designs as simple as possible if it can be helped, especially when you're just starting out. What I mean is, try to avoid adding too many details on your character, like too many accessories, or outfits with lots of zippers or little details, and that's just a small example. You're going to be drawing these characters repeatedly, and having to draw so many tiny little details repeatedly is gonna wear you out. But if that's what you're going for, that's cool too. Just know it might take longer. What will happen in the world you created? What is the problem and what will be the solution? What will be the circumstance that will draw the main character into the story? How will the main character drive the story forward? This right here is your most crucial steps when it comes to making your comic. Story with no plot or a bad plot is straight up begging to be labeled as trash by critics. I mean, do you want to read a story with no plot or a terrible plot? I don't either. By now you already know what I'm gonna say, right? That's right, research. Look over the main plots of some of your favorite pieces of media and decide what kind of plot intrigues you the most. Try to see what kind of ideas you can add to the plot you decided to make so that it can be as original as it possibly can be. Creating a plot, in my opinion, is probably the hardest part when it comes to making comics, so don't be afraid to take your time on this one. So what's the most important word I've been yapping on about in this video? Research. Trust me, I'm not telling you this to sound like a broken record, but it's a very essential piece of your drawing comic arsenal, so it's in your best interest to do it as much as possible. With all that said though, the final step is just that simple. Start your comic. You've decided what kind of comic you want to make. You've decided on your settings. You've made your characters, and your plot is set. All that's left to do is just start drawing your comic. As much as I've stressed on about doing your research and educating yourself, don't let yourself get stuck in that phase for too long, because a lot of starting comic artists end up never leaving and never start their comic. You don't want to be that person that's always talking about making their comic or talking about it on social media that they're making a comic, but never actually make a comic because they're still researching or still trying to learn everything. Don't be that person. Try not to overthink it. You'll never be 100% ready or prepared when you start. And if you are, that's cool. That's all the more reason for you to get started. Once you're on your journey, over time, you'll start to notice things here and there that you could be improving on. Once you identify them, you work on them to make your comic even better. Don't be afraid to take that big leap and just go for it. To wrap things up, making comics requires a lot of time, practice, and patience. So if this is truly what you want to do, then be prepared to apply everything that I said into practice. These are things that I had to learn on my own in my comic making journey, and it's been quite a grind. But I expect no less. I hope this video at least gives you a basic idea of what you need to make a comic. There are so many things that can go into making a comic that it can be overwhelming, but don't worry about all that right now. Just focus on these 5 things for now, and you'll be solid. Like the 76ers say, trust the process. To my viewers that are trying to make their own comics or is already making their comics, let me know your experiences. Tell me everything. Thanks for watching, man. Much respect, and I'm out.